Welcome back, everybody. Glad you could join me again today. We, of course, have great gratitude in our heart that God has given us such a great inheritance. That's what we read in Colossians chapter 1, verse 12 and 13. And we read that He has rescued us completely from tyrannical rule. Completely. He has rescued us completely from tyrannical rule of darkness and has translated us into the kingdom realm of His beloved Son. And I've read to you, so above all, Matthew 6:33, constantly chase after the realm of God's kingdom and the righteousness that proceeds from Him, that all these less important things will be given to you abundantly. Everything that God gives to us is abundant. He never withholds stuff. He always wants us to have whatever He's got abundantly. We just have to believe His word. We have to trust Him. We've got to count on His word, that His word is real, that His word is true. We've been talking over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the domain of darkness and those that have dominion in darkness. Well, we've also been talking about the domain of God and the kingdom of God, that is His king in which He has the dominion. That's kingdom. And so if we seek first His way of doing things, His kingdom, His way of doing things, then all these things will be getting added unto us abundantly. I want to read to you from the Message translation, Matthew 6:32 to 34. Just so that we can launch off this. People who don't know God, remember the dark kingdom, they don't know God. People who don't know God and the way He works fuss over these things. What things? What we're going to eat, what we're going to drink, what we're going to wear, where we're going to live, all the stuff that we need. They fuss over these things, the people who don't know God. But you know both God and how He works. If you're watching this session, then you know how God works, because you wouldn't be watching it if you didn't know that this is what we teach. Steep your life in God reality. Steep your life in God initiative, God provisions. Don't worry about missing out. You'll find all your everyday human concerns will be met. I don't think it gets any plainer than that. God meets all our needs. And then, of course, verse 34, give your entire attention to what God is doing right now. In other words, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about the next day. Give all your attention to what God is doing right now. And don't get worked about what may or may not happen tomorrow. God will help you deal with whatever hard things come up when the time comes. We spend so much of our time planning, compensating, trying to mitigate, trying to make sure that bad things don't happen to us, or at least if things happen to us, we have some measure of control over whatever could come our way. We spend our lives trying to make sure that nothing is out of our control. Or if there's something that happens to us that is just it's not great, it's not good, it's not helpful. If something happens to us, we spend our time trying to create space for us so that we've got time to manage. Well, again, that shows us that if we're trying to do that, we're trying to do God's job. That means we don't trust Him to do the job for us. This is our moment. This is our time for us to give our attention to what God is doing right now and not worry about all the other stuff, all the other time, all the other plans, all the other stuff we're trying to make happen or try to prevent from happening. Let us focus on what God is doing right now.